Hi everyone, Leslie Ray here with Leslie Ray's Crafty Gig. How's everyone doing? Tonight I want to share with you some really cool stuff. But before we get started, I want to remind everybody that this is a live recording. It's a little bit different than a tutorial. I have folks I'm talking to over here in my chat room on Ustream, and they're communicating with me and I'm communicating back with them, and they're all kind of getting in here and signing in. I see my aunt is here, and of course my co-streamer Amanda, and then of course some of my regulars, Dee Dee and Cheryl and Jen, and some of my teammates, Danny, and I think there's Raven. And if I missed you, just holler at me. I know earlier I had come on a little early and tried to enable links, so I hope that they are enabled. If Amanda, if you would just put in my links real quick, that this is mailboxmuse.com, and we'll see if that worked, and if it did, great. Yes, I love the music too, Joy. I'm getting to share a kit that's very, very special. The Mailbox Muse is a kit club, and great, we have links. And they put out a quarterly kit, and this is the new quarter, so I get to share with you something brand new. There's a little bit shown on the web, but not a whole lot. And so I've been talking with Jean, the owner of Altered Pages and Mailbox Muse, and she and I agreed that it would be fun to do some projects with this kit. Of course, clowning is close and near and dear to my heart. Most of you know that. I went to clown school with my mom when I was in high school, and I love the circus and everything circus. So, of course, when we have a center ring spectacle collection, I want to be a part of that. And so I want to start off by welcoming you all and reminding you, please sign in so that I can chat with you and you can ask questions. If I miss something, if you do Q:, it will put a big Q in front of the question, and sometimes that will catch my attention. But if not, please feel free, when you're asking a question that you need me to answer, I will write in all caps so I can see it, because sometimes when I get to arting, I get lost in my own self. So please help me keep track of that. If you've never been here, again, sign in. And tonight we're going to be doing art with the Center Ring Spectacle Mailbox Muse quarterly kit that gets delivered to your door. You get stuff delivered to your door. You can't buy this in any kind of store. It's only available online through Mailbox Muse. So, hi Vedette. Hi Raven. So, are y'all ready to see what all you get? I have most of the things in live and in person. There are a couple of things that I don't have, but I have either pictures of, or I can't show you anyway because it's top secret for members only. So, hi Jean. We're just starting. Jean is the owner of the Mailbox Muse and also Altered Pages. Let me start by sharing many of the things I'm going to play with are available through Altered Pages. One is some double stick tape, Paris trunk inks, while supplies last, I'm told, and of course Punchnella, and then these new things. If you're not familiar with Splash ink, it's way cool. I got mine in the mail yesterday. It is an acrylic mixing color, and it comes in a package just like this. These are the only 4 you get, and you make everything from it. This heavily appealed to my own senses as a artist and who, you know, had trained in college and painting and classes forever and ever and ever, that everything is made with red, yellow, blue. Here we have yellow, magenta, and blue, and then black. Okay, so love, love, love this. And it comes like this, and the best part about this is, Leslie Ray left hers open, so excuse me. Let me grab a piece of tissue real quick. As you can tell, I've been using mine, right? They don't leak. I accidentally left that open because I noticed as soon as I did that I left a drop on there. So they're in really good little tight bottles. Okay, see? All gone. And look at this color chart, guys. And I'll show you how significant this is in a minute because we'll mix some. I've already pre-mixed some. But when I was playing with this last night, I mixed a couple of colors very simply on a palette, following the directions. And if you look, the directions have like 1M and 80 water, or 1 BL and 8M, okay? That stands for black and magenta, and the W stands for water. And you just mix them, and you can mix them in water brushes. You can mix them in a palette on a piece of like Teflon sheet or whatever. You can mix them in mini misters. Ooh, ah. So you can mix them in a lot of ways. And it's acrylic, and so it washes up pretty good. The only reason I have ink on my hands right now is because of my ink catastrophe when I first opened it, because I didn't put the lid on. But these are available through alteredpages.com, and Jean will get you a price, because I'm not about the price, I'm about the fun, because this is a lot of fun. And they're well worth the investment. And there's tons and tons of videos. The lady who made these is Karen Elaine Thomas, and she has tons and tons of videos on how to mix these and use these in a bunch of different ways. What I liked about them, this was me just playing last night, mixed some magenta color, mixed this real pretty teal, and then started playing with them, and just with the 3 colors, you know, getting the different ranges of hues. Of course, I had to have a turtle because, you know, it's all about the turtle. But see the little bit of shine that's on the paint when it's in darker spots? This is on watercolor paper, and that shine is all the acrylic ink, okay? And I was just playing with a flat brush, but you can get some really neat lines. But this is what's even more fun. You can stamp with these, people. Just paint them on your stamp and stamp. And so you have little acrylic paint stamps. Yes, it's very cool. And one of these, I think it's this one. I don't know if you can catch it here. But one of these, I took one of the Maya Mists in the pearl that has just a little bit of shimmer in it, and mixed it in with the paint and then stamped it. And it has just a little bit of a shimmer. But these are a lot of fun to play with. You can do all kinds of neat applications with them. Very, very fun. So we're going to play with these. And these are from alteredpages.com. And then I'm going to show them the kit. So you need some tape. Okay. Now, the kit comes with some pages of paper from Graphic 45, from their collection that has all these really cool circusy papers. See if I can see how many of those come in that. It just says paper. It doesn't say, it says 3 sheets of decorative paper. So you get one of each, I guess. And so you get one of the first one, and you get one of these, and you get one of these. Yes, 3 sheets of 12 by 12 paper. And then you get a lot of wonderful, yummy collage sheets. And this is what Altered Pages is known for. So this is what really married well with the Mailbox Muse. And they come pre-printed, Jean tells me, on, and they're wonderful. This is the image I used in my little logo that I made for tonight's show. Isn't that great? And I love the color in these. And then I love, like, some of them are painterly and some of them are just actual images. And then there's some really cool words. Also, you get a piece of 12 by 12 craft. And you get one sheet of color cardstock. I imagine it would be red or yellow. You also, this is another one of the collage sheets that you get. And these match really well the rubber stamps that you're going to get too. This one, I printed this out on some watercolor paper. I got my images electronically instead of, like, you will get them already printed. And I printed mine on some watercolor paper. But I love this one. Look at the lion on this one. Isn't this great? And this reminds me of, like, one of the little bags of circus treats you get, like peanuts or something in. But the old posters from Barnum and Bailey. Twirlo the clown. Isn't that great? Lots of really cool things. And this comes with already a little bound book, a quality bound book that comes with it that has some projects that our own design team members have already come up with. And I've seen the final projects. They're very cool. But I don't want to do one of their projects tonight. I want to show you you can do their projects, but there are other things you can do as well. So, love these. So, 3 collage sheets and one, I guess we're calling that the original art sheet, right? And then, if that was not enough, you get a set of stamps. And I have one that I've already cut up, but it comes in a little square like this. And it has all kinds of really cool images. And it's also got some really fun words. It's got, like, ringmaster and menagerie and circus and big top and center ring spectacle. And then it's got a smaller image of those guys, the strong guys, standing on top of each other. It's got a small image of the clown. It's got a small image of the ringmaster. It's got a small image of the big top itself. So, isn't this fun? Love this. And so I've already cut mine out. Normally, I would mount these on foam tape, and then when I get my foam tape, I actually will mount these. But I was out of my foam stuff, so I just cut them to use them tonight. And then you get fun stuff that goes with it. Let's see. There's clown stickers. See if I can do this. Let me show you the clown stickers. And then there's all kinds of cool ephemera. Lots of one-of-a-kind items. Let's see, here's some more clown stickers. Aren't these great? Yes, there's a clown head. Welcome, Tristan. I love the stamp plate, too. You get a clown head. My clown head I want to use without the hair, and I wasn't thinking before I started. But he had hair going all the way around. Anyway, I've de-haired my clown. But he came with hair. So I want to use this for another project that I'm going to use later in the month and share. But you have this nice three-dimensional clown head. You get some fun balloons. And then you get all kinds of neat stuff. There's napkins that are great for collaging. I love this napkin. It's beautiful. Nice, fun polka dot napkin. I'm all about the dots. Popcorn bag. And then stop me if I get into stuff that's in the add-on kits, Jean. There's feathers. Jean is saying she saw an awesome project using the plastic head with moss as hair and patina head. It reminds me of kind of Chia Pet. I have these neat little chunks of wood that I got. And I want him to be like a body on there. And then do some collagey stuff around on the block. And then have some dangly legs and stuff. There's some fun ribbon. You didn't look in the bag? Look in the bag. Look at this ribbon. And y'all know how I am about sequins and bling. And so this is great. And then there was some embroidery floss. And there's different colors of floss depending on which bag you get. Because it is unique, kind of one of the kind items. These fun dominoes in reds and blues. Very bright colors. Let's see. Ribbons and more trim. Look, little tokens and starry, glittery stuff. And then this came with it, right, Jean? The Want to Scrap, this lovely corset. And then this fun little template. And this is a little metal template. It's brass, I believe. Okay, this did not come with it. I just got one because I'm me. So here, we're moving it. We'll pull that out of the way. I wasn't going to use that tonight anyway. So. But you do get this. Isn't this cool? That is very cool. And these, if you're looking at this going, oh, well, that's interesting. What do I do with it? Well, there's any number of things you can do with it. But what I'm going to do with it, one of the things I'm going to do with it is I'm going to use it as a stencil to do some misting with. I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to use it actually in my art. I'm going to keep it. I'm trying to pull this out so you can see it. I'm going to keep it. And I can also run this through my Sizzix with a rubber pad underneath it. And it will emboss the head of the clown on things. And you can do all kinds of dry embossing. Thank you, dry embossing. They have tons of really cool different stencils. It's called Gigi. I may be spelling it wrong. It means haha, I think. Yeah. But it's very, very cool. It's from the Netherlands. So this comes in your kit. And then I had some miscellaneous fibers. And I'm not sure if that was actually part of my kit or not. So, lots of fun, wonderful, wonderful napkins and all kinds of cool toys to play with. If you enjoy doing mixed media art and collage art, this is truly a really fun kit to have. Jean is saying that No More Shims is an awesome way to do 3D embossing. I am not familiar with No More Shims. I'm familiar with sticking this in my Sizzix and running it through with a rubber pad and it embosses. It's great. So, are y'all ready to get started playing? I think I covered everything that's in the kit. I didn't tell you how much the kit was. Do you want to know how much the kit was? It's got authentic card. Yes, I covered everything in the kit. Okay. Part of the kit is that you can get what they call a More Musings add-on. You have to be a member to do this. And it's filled with even more ephemera, tags, ribbons, gems, beads, paper, one-of-a-kind items never sold again in the colors. And so, like, for this kit, you could get a yellow kit or a red kit to go with it. Okay? The kits themselves. I'm reading off paperwork because I didn't want to mess this up. Everything gets mailed in a box. You get a quarterly kit, and then there's add-ons all the time. The add-ons are available at $18.99 normal price, okay? But when you order it as part of your kit membership, like you can say, okay, I want the kit and I want the add-on, it will be at a special price of $14.99. There is a limited number of, I'm supposed to tell you this, there is a limited number of Center Ring Spectacle and the red and yellow More Musings add-on kits. You get a special deal if you sign up as a member today. And that special deal is 15% off. So, normally, like this kit, I think it said online was $42 something. And the circus kit is selling for $37.95, but at 15% off, it is $32.25. But if you're a member and the membership is only $10, you get the kit for $26.95. So that's a fabulous deal. And then you can get the red or yellow add-on kits, normally $18.99, with the 15% off at $16.15. And I'm going to be a stinker because you have to use a code in the membership section, and I'm not going to tell you what the code is until the end of the show. Okay, so, but you get this really good deal, so you got to stick with me, right? So, is that everything I need to tell them about that part, Jean? Jean is typing in, and she is putting in capitalized. This is a very, very limited kit. So, if you really like all this stuff, if you like clowns, if you like the colors, and I personally, I love the digis. I think they're beautiful. Or not digis, the collage sheets. I think they're really, really beautiful. You want to get this kit. Okay? So, let's move some of this stuff out of the way. Let's get started, because I want to make some ink colors to do this kit. No, Vicki, this is not from my mom's store. This is from Mailbox Muse. Tonight, Mailbox Muse is doing a special sponsor. She's sponsoring my show tonight so that we could show you how cool this kit is and play with it. And play with some other fun stuff from Altered Pages. But Altered Pages and Mailbox Muse are sister companies. I need to leave some of these out because I want to show you how fun they are to alter also. Mailbox Muse and Altered Pages are sister companies, and they are, I'm on the design team for Altered Pages, but I wanted to bring you this kit because I love clowns, and Jean and I decided this was really the very cool way to go. Okay, one more thing about the membership. A $10 membership is an annual fee. You only have to pay that once, and once you do that, each kit is $26.95, and they're shipped quarterly over the course of the year. Okay? I know. It's incredible how much is put in the kit. Now, if you go and you look at Mailbox Muse, you'll notice that there are some collage sheets that are available on the website. And I'm not certain. Yes, plus shipping. Don't forget shipping, guys. I am not certain if these are done the same way as her collage sheets are on Altered Pages. If Jean will tell me that answer, I would appreciate it. But what they do on Altered Pages is you can buy the collage sheet any number of ways. You can buy it as a digi and download it and print it on whatever you want it to do, which in my opinion is the coolest way to go, because you could do, like, print it on white cardstock, you could print it on tissue paper, you could print it on transparency, you could print it on watercolor paper, you could print it all kinds of ways and use it all kinds of ways. But she also offers it on pre-printed on, a heavier cardstock, on transparencies, on vellum, on, already on different things. And I know in the kit they come pre-done, but maybe, she said older collages are shipped as digis. They're older collages that are available in the shop, and they're shipped as digis. But she does them on photo, parchment, vellum, any number of mediums. So maybe if you saw something and you wanted it done, I don't know. I'll let Jean talk to that. Okay, let's look at these inks again real quick. These are very fun. Acrylic. Okay, I have them in my mini misters, and they spray really well. To get the amount of ink that I have in here, this is filled to about right here. This one, I tripled the recipe, and the yellow the same way. It's filled to about here. I tripled the recipe. I'm not going to remix red and yellow. I'm going to show you how to mix some other colors, though, and you'll see how those go. So, I want also to go with my red and yellow, a blue, and I think I want to do the blue that is right here that's just a very nice blue. It's kind of a lighter blue. See right there? And what it tells me to do to mix this blue is to use 10 magenta and 6 black. And I want to go ahead and triple that. So I pre-washed these. These have water in them right now, so I'm making sure I keep all the water out of them. Okay, Jean is saying for the Mailbox Muse kits, collages ordered for the Mailbox Muse kits. If you order from mailboxmuse.com, the digis are sent directly to your email address. So you'll get them like I did, and you can put them on any number of mediums. Okay, so 10 magenta. We're going to make blue with magenta. Are you ready, guys? Okay, so I'm going to triple this. So I'm going to put 30 magenta in. And I'm just dropping it for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So 30 in the hole. And then I need to do 6 black. And these, when they're shipped, they have a protective seal over them. So you want to open them, take your protective seal off before you get started. 6 black, so 6 times 3 is 18. And they also have a shaker. I forgot to shake. The recipes are on the card. Tristan, didn't you get some splash ink? Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18. Now, this one, to get that color, does not require any extra water. I do have a little bit extra water in my mister, though, so I'll have to spray that out. But I'm going to put the lid on it. This card. This came in your kit with your splash ink, and look. Oh! Ready? Oh! Okay. Actually, that's purpley. Isn't that weird? I guess that does have kind of a lavender to it. That's very purpley. Okay, that's more purpley than blue. This is really funny because this is the first time I went for this color and came back with a totally different color. So I'm going to note that on my card real quick. Not blue. This is really purple. Okay. That is the first time I mixed several on there. I like this color. It's very pretty, but it's not the color we were going for. We were looking for blue. So I'm going to go to the one next to it that has black, blue, and a little bit of magenta. We'll try that again. That's why you have more than one of these available, right? The one next to it says 2 black, so we're going to go with 6 black. And it says 4 magenta, so we're going to go with 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to have to go to the website now and see if they know that that's not that color. That's crazy. And then 2 blue, which will be 6 blue. Hi, Elizabeth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How funny. Yes, Tristan is up there in the world of, you're on the edge, on the world of blizzards, and Jim is not too far away. I hope y'all are being safe. Apparently the snow was not supposed to start early, and it did, and people are getting way more snow than they were expecting to get. Okay, much better. This is the color I was expecting. It's a real dark blue with a little bit of red in it. Really, really pretty. Okay? So I'm not going to spray it much more because I don't want to run out of ink before I'm there. Okay? So, the first one, not really blue. I'm going to call them and find out later. Not today. So, I've got my colors mixed. The colors I used for the red, I used the recipe that calls for 2 magenta to 1 yellow. And the recipe I used for my yellow, I did 12 yellow to 1 magenta. And they have been almost perfectly matched. When I was playing with them last night, I could set it up to this color chart and it would match almost perfectly. So that's why it was really funny that this was so not that color. So, what I want to do is I want to use these sprays in conjunction with my stamps to make some background papers. And I'm going to do that on my craft sheet because I want to make some ATCs. I want to do a couple of different things. I want to make some ATCs. I want to do a collage page. And so I have some already prepped, but I'm going to show you how to do some here as well. So we have lots to show, lots to do. So let's get started. One of the first things I want to do is take my little stamps, and I want to make some real simple washi tape. And I'm going to use a piece of tissue paper. Stick this piece of light underneath it. Let me see. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, guys, so maybe y'all can see better. Okay. And I'm going to stick these on a piece of on this. It's an acrylic block, and I've just put a piece of double stick tape on there. I'm going to use my black Paris Trunk ink, and my teammates are here. They're probably giggling because I told them I have gone over to the washi tape side. It's kind of like the dark side, only different. Now I see need for stuff like this in everything I do. And I have a piece of tape that is wide enough to accommodate this saying. It says center ring spectacle. So I'm going to do that along the edge here. I do too, Jean. And it's so simple to make yourself to match whatever project you're doing. And these stamps just lend themselves to doing, you know, some extra simple, quick and easy embellishment things. And see, I just did this with black. You could do it with any color. You could do it on any color. So like red or yellow tissue paper. And then we'll make that. I'll show you how simple that is to do with the double stick tape. Well, you get it out and you stick it on things, Tristan. Just stick it on things. I was looking the other day, and Queen and Company, they must have come out with like 5 jillion new ones. It's crazy how many they have. And really, I didn't even have any at all until this summer. And the only reason I had it from this summer is because I went to a convention, and Vedette and I went to, not Vedette, Raven and I went to every booth there was that we were supposed to go to. And we collected these little ticket things. And together we won a package. It had all kinds of stuff from all the different people. And one of the things it had in it was this washi tape. Well, now I have washi tape, but still have never used that washi tape. And I've been watching all of my friends make their own washi tape, and I really liked what they were doing, and so I thought what would be really, really cool is to take digis. And if you go look at the project I did on alteredpages.com last week, I guess a week ago Friday, you will see I made washi tape with some of the digital backgrounds. It was really, really fun, and I really, really loved how it looked. Okay, so I have some different little sayings and stuff that I'm going to use to make my washi tape, and I have a bigger piece of tape for that one, a medium-sized piece of tape. So what I'm doing is I'm going to turn it over, okay? And I'm going to find the piece of tape that matches the width of my stamping. And some people do it the other way. I like doing it this way because sometimes I don't stamp on the tape as well as I do if I'm just stamping. And so I can do this. And I rub that out. Okay. So now, you see I have my words on my tape. And I use this fatter tape on the one in the middle. And that these kind of fall off, I'm okay with that. I want it to look that way. Have that look. And I really like these Paris Chunk inks because they dry so quickly. I put them on the shiny side of the paper, but I just ran my hand over that, and that's dry. I didn't even heat set it at all. Before you get that brazen with your tape, be sure you test that, because that's not always the case. Sometimes it will not do it that way. Sometimes you will have smeared your ink all over the place. But I know when I'm printing them on my printer, if I just let it go sit on the side, it does just fine. Okay, so now I have center ring spectacle tape, and I have big top circus tape, and I have ringmaster tape. How cool is that? Okay, I'm very excited about that, in case you didn't notice. So I'm going to grab my scissors real quick. You wish you had a Tuesday morning here? We don't have a Tuesday morning here, but my mom does in Arlington, so occasionally she'll bring me something back. I don't know why I'm pulling out the scissors for this, because half the time this is what I do. So that's what I'm going to do. And I just pull it along the edge. I like that little bit of rough look on the edge of the washi tape. So here's my ringmaster tape. Very fun. Here's my big top circus tape. And see, this is the perfect size stamps. Remind me, and I will show you some other stamps for past kits. And you'll see they all come that shape, that size. So you get lots of really cool little stamps. And that's a lot of little stamps in that little bitty space. And it makes it perfect for doing stuff like this, but also makes it perfect for doing some ATCs, and I adore ATCs, so that's why we like to do that. Now, if you did this on white, like I did, you can leave it white. I think I'm going to leave it white, but you could go over it real simple with some mist or something like that, as long as your ink was resistant to water, so like a Memories ink, or I guess if you wanted to use a Stays On or something like that, you could spray it with some other stuff and make it different colors. You could just stamp right on top of colored paper. So but I like the white. It's going to look good in my collage. So I'm going to put those aside. And then I'm going to make some backgrounds on here with our stamps. And first I want to mist with my mist so that we can get some neat stuff going. And I'm going to start with light and work to dark. And if you've never used a mini mister, it's like any other kind of mister. You need to commit. Commit and spritz. Just go with it. Don't go halfway through it unless you like the dot look, because then you'll get those dots. Like you're seeing here, this little dot here. If you like the dot trail, great. Don't spritz all the way down. But if you want it to be a nice mist, then commit and mist, okay? Does that make sense to everybody? You didn't know we were going to talk about relationships and commitment to mist while we were here tonight, but we are, because it's a special kind of show. So, and then I want some dots in some places. So, and I might just purposefully have some darker spots, okay? Now, because this is acrylic, I can get my water bottle out. So these places where I have some darker spots, I want it to kind of wick. Okay. Alright. It's going to start doing its thing, but I'm going to hit this here again in a minute with red. Yes. Commit to the mist. If you don't want spots, it's bad. So, commit to the mist. But, so now I'm going to, and see, this is going to start inking around and kind of turn kind of orangey. I love how these work together. Okay. I'm going to spray a little more water on that one. And these are acrylics, so they're going to wash out really good. And playing with them earlier, they washed out very well. And I want to turn this up because I want some drippies. Okay? And while I'm letting it do some drippies, I'm grabbing for my heat tool because I'm going to stop it when it gets where I want it to be. And what I like about these is you can form all kinds of layers. Look at the oranges that it's forming there on the paper. If you wanted these to have a little sparkle in them, there's a couple of things you can do. You can add a product like Pearl X or like the mixers that we have in the store. If you do something like that, you need a binding agent in it. And by a binding agent, I mean gum arabic. With the kits that we have in the store, we don't have the newer kits that she just came out with, that Sakura just came out with. But the newer kits have a pot of the binding agent in it. And the binding agent they use is a powdered one. But if you don't have a binding agent and want to do something with some sparkle, get some... oh, the word just left me. Not Pearl X. Perfect Pearls. There we go. I knew I could come up with it. Get some Perfect Pearls. The Perfect Pearls will do wonderful. Yes, you could add some of the Niji pearlescent water paints as well. That would be very cool. Those work really, really cool. And actually, I have those right here nearby. We could, because you know I like sparkle, right? Okay, I need some more color in there. I need some more. And I'm just playing with plain water on top of this to get some dripping going. Okay. As long as it's a powder, if you put mica in it, anything you put in the water is going to have a binding agent to make it stick onto the paper. The watercolors already have something to make it stick on the paper, but anything you put that's just a pure mica is going to need some kind of binding agent. And the gum arabic is the best that I have found for working with stuff like that. That's what I always have used with both my Pearl X and with my Terry Sprawl mixers, is to use gum arabic. Tammy Faye. I'm going to go back this way since this is a big old puddle of stuff. Yeah, it's a pretty quiet heat gun. My first heat gun was a Marvy also. It was an older brand Marvy, and I used it until it died. I had it for probably 12 years, and it finally just gave up the ghost. And I replaced it with another Marvy, and I love it. This is the Model 2500. And I love it. It's worked really well. I use it in all of my workshops that I do live, and it works so well. So I'm going to use our blue that we made, our kind of purpley blue. I'm going to take the lid off. And I like the splattery of this one. So, but I'm still going to get some color in here that's going to do a little bit of running. Just a little bit of running. I want some of the splattery down there at the bottom. A little bit of run. I don't know how anybody arts without a heat gun these days. If you don't have one, you need one. And don't get like the paint stripping gun. That's bad, very bad. Notice, okay, this is important. A lot of times when you're mixing colors, when you do something like I just did with wetting it to make it drip, usually you can see the color break down. And it goes back to the colors you started with. Notice this didn't do that. It did not do that at all. It just did its thing. It just stayed true to its color. That's a very unique thing with these, I think. Any application you would use acrylic paint for, you can do this with. You can thin them down to make them like watercolors. I really like how this is looking. What are they afraid you're going to do in Honduras with a heat tool, I wonder? Okay. And I like how this is more open down here, and this is more dense. But look at the layers in there, guys. Can you see them? How cool is that? And see, once again, where it's kind of shiny in spots, it's where it's built up, or where it's still wet. Hang on, let me get that. It does need sparkles. I'm not done yet. This is just a layer. This is serving as a background layer. You'll see how we build this up. Because we're going to use part of this in the collage piece that we're going to work on, and then we'll use part of this in our ATCs. Okay, so that's a good one. I need to stamp some now. So I'm going to stamp with my black again, because I like my black. And I want to stamp this circus tent. Okay. I'll stamp him in a couple of places. Ooh, it would, wouldn't it, Joy? Joy is saying this would look really pretty under some tempered glass and framed. Joy does a lot of glass stuff. That's one of her favorite mediums to work in, is with glass, and it would look really pretty, I think. Tristan, my Copics didn't arrive. Were you sending me Copics or Copics? Okay, I'm going to leave that setting for a minute. I may come back to that image. But I want to grab in the Ringmaster image. I'm hoping you're saying the mail totally freaks you out. Oh, okay. They're talking about the efficiency of the postal system. And if you sense sarcasm in that statement, you might be right. The only thing that I really wish I had a stamp of is something to the effect of, "May all your days be circus days." So we may have to just actually write that. But now, when you're stamping on stuff like this and you get the guy on the colored, if you have a real problem with that in your body, and you decide that you needed something, you know, to make him look like he doesn't have a red face, like he's from Mars or something, you can go back over this with Prismacolor pencils or chalks and bring out actual facial colors if you want it more colored. Okay? Okay, Joy. I'm going to do alcohol ink under glass. No, Joy, because this is acrylic. This is an acrylic ink. So, and it would paint really well on glass, I think. You should come over and let's try. I think it would work. I'll try painting on some ink and stick it in like one of my windows that gets a lot of sun, and we'll do a test. Why not? But it's gonna stay nice and bright like it does, like an acrylic paint would. But it's thin. It's real inky. I can't wait to use it on my jelly plate. I think that will be a lot of fun. Okay. Maybe one more guy down here. Okay. I will do an experiment, and I will let y'all know how that works out, because I think it would be beautiful myself. I'm partial to all the colors. And what's neat is it doesn't, the little recipe sheet that I showed you, it does recipes for, like, if you wanted to make a palette of colors or brushes to use to do portraits and stuff. It has what the portrait colors, so that you got skin tones and lip tones and hair tones and all that. Perfect. It has a portrait of what they call the artist colors, which are kind of more the bright, funky colors. It's got your basic colors, which I picked colors out of the basics tonight. And then, you know, it's got like 4 or 5 different color families. And what's really neat is I had watched a couple of videos of her working with the inks. And she was mixing them right in the water brushes so you could use them like markers. It was fantastic. So now we've got this kind of collage-y thing going. And one more thing I need the circus on here, the word circus. So let me grab it. I don't need Big Top on here as much as I need the word circus. The word circus and I need to wear like that. So I'm hoping in a couple of weeks that my friend who does the nail art will give me steampunk nails. Won't that be awesome? I saw some floating around on the internet the other day. And oh my goodness, they were gorgeous. And I emailed her the picture and I said, practice and call me when you're ready. No, it's not practical to do that, Vedette, but I would think if you were doing a project, having a couple of them that way would work. But see, like these are reusable, and so would those be. So you could, you know, do up a bunch of different mists. Like tonight, I made sure I had 4 of them cleaned out. And there you go. And when I'm finished with this project, I'll put that up. And because they are recipes, if you did just a little bit, say you had 4 brushes. If you did just a little bit, those 4 brushes, as you're using them, do basic colors and mix with the colors themselves. So have like a yellow and a red and a blue and a darker brownish color or whatever, and then paint with those, adding in a little water normally, and yeah. And then use paint pots. Jean's right, you have paint pots. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can use these. Okay. Alright, I'm loving that. So we've got this started. And right now it kind of looks like a hot mess. It's okay. You can say that. It's functioning as a background. But what I want to do, I'm going to let this sit for just a minute instead of zapping it again while the black dries, because I want to show you what to do with the cardboard that I've got cut. But here's what we got going right now. Is this background that's just kind of mixed of all the images. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to move this off to the side because I'm going to let this dry for a minute, and then I'm going to come back with my little template and show you some stuff too. Jean, check your private message thingy. Okay, now, I've been asked to show how I do this. I start with a piece of corrugated cardboard. See, corrugated cardboard. Got it? Alright. The next thing I do is I take my water, mist, and let it sit. Okay? I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes, and then when I come back, this will just peel off. Almost like this. Isn't that crazy? And then the next thing I did was paint this. Okay? And I added a little ink to the edges, and voila, an ATC base. So this doesn't take very long to start getting moist to make it able to pull off. But something about wetting it just makes this come right off. How cool is that? I know, right? You want to see it again? It's like clown magic. Yeah. Wow, it's white outside where Tristan is. Be safe, Tristan. I hope you don't lose power. This one didn't sit as long, but I can come and pull on this too. Well, I try to bring things that you can learn how to do. I love using corrugated cardboard, and I when my son was turning, how old was he turning? Maybe 11? He wanted to have a survivor party, and I wanted the mailboxes to look like you know, a covered thing with some raffia and stuff. We made 7 mailboxes. So I became a pro at taking apart the cardboard. So, okay, so that's what I did for that. I think you could, and I'm going to open up my spray mister here real quick and use a brush. But you could take a brush and paint with it like ink. This was done with acrylic paint, but you could do the same kind of thing on here. This is going to be a little bit more runny because it is just the ink. It doesn't have paint in it, so it's not going to rest on top like this does. But you can definitely paint with it. And I'm just sticking my brush down into the bottle that I mixed my color in so that it'll match it. Okay. And see, actually, this is going to match better than this one with the acrylic paint out of the bottle. So. You could also spray on this because, you know, it is cardboard. You can buy your cardboard really nice and already pre-cut into shapes and stuff. Or you can just take apart a box. I am not opposed to taking apart a box. Boxes are there to be made into something else. Okay, so there you go. We have that. Now I want to take this and let's get our kit on. Okay, so we have a piece of our paper we're going to use. I'm going to just tear because I want a part of it torn, so I'm going to tear across the top here. And I'll grab a piece of my collage. I want these little collages. These are perfect for making an ATC. And I like these monkeys, so I'm going to use both of them. Okay. I'm just cutting some of my background edge. And I'm using just a little tonic tool to distress my edges. This is a tonic tool. I think Tim Holtz makes one now under his brand, but before they were his brand, Tonic had that. Now, Tristan, it's just got to fit on here and look, you know, look like a dude introducing people. They call it a distress edger. I thought, Jean, do you have one of those in the shop? I thought I had seen that before in the shop. You need an intervention? Apparently I need a craft intervention. Because when I was talking to Jean about what all came in the kit and everything, I said, well, she said, well, 12 by 12 craft. I'm like, okay, I've got a whole pack of that. And, you know, I buy craft by 50 to 100 sheets at a time. And for a while, my mom challenged me to not use craft on the next, like, 10 cards. Because every card I was producing there for a while had craft on it. So, stop talking for 8 seconds. Okay. There, was that 8 seconds? And I'm just kind of trimming around our little monkeys here. Okay. They're on a high wire, I think, or on a circus gizmo. And I'm going to cut off their name. You'll just have this M there, but we'll stick something down there so you won't notice that so much. And my trick when I'm cutting off something off of white cardstock, and I try to do this when I'm doing digi art or working with the collage pages, even if I was doing this as a square, I am still going to go around the edge with a marker, because if not, as soon as I am not looking and I hit the side just right, I'm going to see that white edge. So you want to kind of add some color. And I usually either use a Sharpie or anything with a brush tip works great. In fact, I'm going to grab my black distress marker. You'll notice everything at my house has mist on it. Look. Even my printer is misty. It's very nice. It's lovely. Because my printer is like right here. Oh, you're missing the show because of the 10-minute ad. You know, Elizabeth, I probably, having done this June will be 2 years for me doing my show. There have been times, and we really need to do an outtake and blooper reel, where I'm still sitting here just talking away to myself. Can't understand why people in the chat aren't talking back with me or whatever. And it would be because the recording stopped or the broadcasting stopped or, you know, I was off air, whatever. So, you know. I am impressed, you know. Tristan, I was not even expecting you to be here. So I'm impressed. You have such dedication to come see me. I appreciate it so much. Okay. So here are my monkeys being introduced. Okay. You see how we're building layers. Layers. Okay. Now we get to play with fun stuff because we have all kinds of fun stuff here. Let's see. Let me grab. I'm grabbing stuff as I bring it over here. Okay. I don't like the yellow thing. But I do like these fun fibers here. Okay. We have a couple of different fiber options. Well, I'm glad you came over. I really am. I like to have new fans and new followers, and this is one of my favorite things to do. I do my crafty gig twice a month on the 2nd and 4th Fridays of the month. And it's always different things. I like to explore different things, so I always have different things going. I'm going to start gluing some of this down. You never get anything done. Yes, you would, because I would have kits in front of you saying, okay, let's do this now. Okay, let's do this now. And we would be getting art done. It would be so much fun. Now, I've gone around the edge. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if it'll let me see it. You can kind of see. And you can kind of see where I missed in spots. But I went around the edge. I'm going to glue that down. Okay. Now, I'm going to take, I pulled out a couple of the fibers. There's several. Ooh, I like this one too. I like this ladder fiber. I don't know if these were supposed to go a different way. Usually when I buy fibers that are fancy fibers, they come pre-curled. So this may have been different. Might have been different. Right now it's going to be this way. My mom lives in Arlington and she has an online store called cutandpastememories.com. If she has any left, she has some older sets of basic gray that she put on deep discount. And that's on sale right now. I'm not sure Mommy's in the store tonight, or in the stream tonight. But anyway, she's in Arlington. And a lot of my crafts I do, support her store 100%. Like my beacon. Totally. Cutandpastememories.com for beacon. But I also like to share some of the fun stuff going on in my other design teams and things. And this is one of those kinds of things. Okay. I want to add some of those stars on here. And I want them to just kind of go down the edge. And they might even go through my little dude. I guess before I do that, I need to color his face if I'm going to do that. I want to bring his face back out. So I'm going to grab my Prismacolors and get a skin toned color. And I think I'm going to make his coat be white. Here's my white. Okay. So I'm going to color his hand. Add back some skin color. And his neck. I guess we should color his neck too. I just realized he has a funky looking goatee. Okay. And then I'm going to color over his coat to make his coat white. And let's color his little bow tie red. Coffee red will work. Kind of an orangey red, but it'll be okay. Okay, so add a little color back to him to help him pop. Okay, and now I'm going to take my crystal lacquer and I'm going to stick my brush down in there. And I'll stick a clean brush down in there, I hope. Here we go. Okay, you totally not just see me wipe that on my pants leg, right? So what I want to do is I'm going to put some crystal lacquer down in just some random spots. This is going to dry with shine on it, okay? But I don't want it to go, I want it to kind of go off up here too. Alright. Now, as long as I stuck my brush back in the water like I just did, I will be fine for the crystal lacquer coming out. If I forget and leave my crystal lacquer sitting, or my brush sitting out, it will dry very nicely. And don't lose fear. Your brush is okay. It's just, underneath the crystal lacquer. And what you can do instead is put it in some fingernail polish remover, like acetone, and it will remove the crystal lacquer from your, I think that one's stuck, guys, from your stuff. There you go. I'm talking about cherry blintzes with sour cream. I know, I love the white jacket too. He needed a white jacket. And that's why I love Prismacolors. If you don't have a good set of pencils, Prismacolors are great. And even if you need to go on the cheap, I would recommend like Crayola pencils, because they have a high pigment content in their pencils. I think we need just a little more over here, right here. So. Okay, so I've got some of those going. I've got a handful. I got a handful of glitter. I'm gonna stick it right here. All right, so I can. There we go. Now I'm going to take a small piece of my tape, the one that says Ringmaster. I'm going to put Ringmaster right there, and I want to use, I want to have a little bit of color on it, so I'm just going to go over this with a pencil, which is another great thing about doing this on tissue paper, is you can, do that, so. Alright, and you'll notice when I made this, I left a piece on the edge right here. That is for me, because now all I have to do is peel it back here. There we go. Ready? La. You can buy Prismacolors singly, or you can buy a set. I've seen them at Staples. So if you are already an office supply junkie like I am, you can buy a small set of them at Staples to get you started, and then go places like Michael's, or I think I usually just see them at Michael's. Go places like Michael's and buy them. Isn't this fun? And buy them by the piece. And like this one, I thought it would have a price on it. It doesn't have a price on it. I'm sorry. Or you can do like I did. I had a mother-in-law that she asked me one year, "What do you want for Christmas? I never know what to get you." And I said, "I want the big box of Prismacolors." And so that's what she got me. So anyway, so if you don't have that as an option, where you have, you know, a sugar daddy, then I recommend you getting a small set and building on it. Make sure you get like a white, and make sure you get like silver or gold, some of those fun colors. So again, I'm cutting off my background, a piece of, I chose a piece here with the tent, okay, and the word circus. And I'm going to take my little distress edger. Thanks, Jean. I love I love the look of how the splash inks work with just cardboard and cardstock. You know, you saw when I showed kind of the samples of it with the watercolor paper, how pretty that was. But I love this too. So, and I really like this piece right here with all the color in there. Love that. So now I'm going to cut out my other monkeys here with their drums. Is everybody hanging in there? And this one's easy to cut out because if you go around his violin and the circle, and this is why I love doing ATCs. ATC, in case you're not familiar, stands for Artist Trading Card. And they are little pieces of art in the form of a 3.5 by 5.5 inch square. And they are meant to be traded. They are not meant to be sold. So it's very important that you treat them with that respect when you make them. If you ever see somebody selling them, just kind of shake your head and walk away because they're meant to be traded. So, just wanted to bring out a little bit there. Again, I'm going to reach for my beacon. If I wasn't using a 3-in-1, I would definitely go for the Fabri-Tac. It is probably one of the best adhesives, hands down, for tacking chunky stuff on. Like if I'm working with flowers and all kinds of stuff that I want to hold, I will definitely use Fabri-Tac. And go around with my marker that apparently I just left open. Y'all didn't see that, did you? This will probably be my first distress marker to run out of ink because I am the world's worst at playing like this and forgetting I leave it open, and voila. Okay. Precision cutter. No, I just... Look, it looks like he has like an arrow. Yes, ATCs are original artworks. They're so much fun. And they're great to trade. You find friends to trade them with, and you get all kinds of really cool little pieces of art, little pieces of their soul coming to you. Okay. And again, because I kind of want these are kind of in a series. These are my spectacle series, my big top spectacle series. So I want to put string on them again. Wooden blocks. Okay. Here we go. There's that. And I think I want to kind of go around this just lightly with some white. Also, here we go. Okay, and you know what? This needs a little more. Tristan was right earlier. This needs a little more something added to it. I'm going to put some glitter on here. I'm going to grab my what? Say it isn't so. How do I not have glitter right beside me? Hang on. Let me grab my ultra fine glitter. It's up here. Usually the glitter is right here, and for whatever reason, when I was cleaning off my desk, I cleaned it off. There we go. Alright. There we go. We'll wipe that off in a minute. I don't know if many of you heard, I got a new vacuum cleaner for Christmas. And I was highly upset because usually my carpet sparkles because of all of the crafties and stuff that between myself and my daughter. And all of my glitter had left my carpet. So it was a very sad day when I figured that out. It's on my flat piece of rubber. Okay, I'm going to finish this ATC, and I'm going to show you real quick how to start the collage I want to start, because I just looked up and noticed the time. And I promise I will finish that collage and make it available on the blog over at Altered Pages. I don't think we have a blog for Mailbox Muse, but I'll make it available where people can come by and see it finished. But I want to show you how we're going to go about that, get it started, okay? Because I don't want to keep y'all past 10 too much, and especially those of you who stayed with to get the code. Remember the code? Remember we talked about the code? You want the code. The code is a good thing. And then, okay, so one more glitter. Okay, so there's that one. There's that one. This we still are not finished. We need one more thing in there. And I think the centering spectacle look perfect there. So again, I'm going to go in with some yellow because I think we need some more yellow brought back in. I'm going to do this one. And here, I want to make it a little different. I want to do a snippy and then a snippy over here so that I have like that snake tongue snippy thing going on. Ooh, a wedding cake with wooden blocks would be fun. Okay, so there we go. My centering spectacle and my ringmaster. Aren't these fun? I know. I love the banner. So those are very, very simple, okay? Very quick and easy. Now, let's go back to our collage piece. Okay, here we go. You can get a piece of board out to build on this, or you can use any number of mediums. I want to do a little misting after I get this onto a piece of paper. What I'm going to put it on is my watercolor paper, okay? I have a piece of watercolor paper here, and I'm going to build my collage on this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the parts of it that I want. So I may want just strips, or I may want just pieces. And because I tore this way, I have that edge. See that edge? I want this same edge on the other side. So I'm going to tear it towards me this time. So I have a piece of that going across. And then, so I get that edge again, I'm going to tear it just a little skinny strip. And then, again with the, okay, so you have some strips going on. We're going to build layers. So these are going to be on top, underneath this. We're not going to just have this white going on. I want to get some of my paper napkin. And when you're playing with paper napkins, usually, unless somebody has been so kind as to go ahead and split this for you, usually there's 2 layers. And here we go. Okay, so I'm going to pull this apart. And probably, for me, my favorite thing to make a collage with is to use my Mod Podge. Okay, so I've got some Mod Podge here, and I had a brush here. Sometimes brushes are overrated. I had a whole stack of brushes just sitting right here. I have markers. Okay. Then I will use a smaller brush, not the brush I wanted to use, but I'll use this brush. Okay. This is not the brush I wanted to use, but it'll work. Okay. Because I'm going to get some Mod Podge on here. Okay. And I like to tear my napkin. And don't be afraid to go back over your napkin with Mod Podge. Okay? And I like it when it has a little bit of wrinkle in it. That's okay. In my book. And I didn't go all the way up with it, so I'm going to tear it right there on purpose. Okay. The reason I am using Mod Podge instead of PPA is because I do not have PPA. I have Mod Podge. But PPA is just a nice white glue, and my Mod Podge will serve the same purpose. I could easily have used any kind of like Liquitex gel medium or anything like that. I could use that. Whatever your glue of choice. If I had PPA, I would use PPA, but I don't think I've ever had PPA. So, Well, sometimes you want tearing, but I think it depends on how. I think it depends on how hard you rub. And I'm going over it pretty lightly, pretty quickly, to get this on here. And so it's not even tearing. It's not even threatening to tear. And then I like that. I try to work in threes. Okay, see, I've got 3 going there. Now, I want to layer some of this napkin on there as well. This one I want to cut because I want to keep that polka dot line. Okay. I like these lines. See them? See the lines? I like those. Yeah, maybe a sponge with less volume. I used a pretty light hand, Tristan. Didn't use a whole lot of pressure there. So, and I'm having okay. I love this imagery. I want it to. I don't always cut my napkins. This one I'm kind of cutting because I want specific things in specific places. I kind of want this without so much of this white. The neat thing about napkins is they will take on kind of a transparent property in the white areas when they get wet. It's just like with tissue paper. So you're going to start seeing some of that red bleed through down under here. And because that's wet there, I should be able to tear that off the edge. Okay, normally this is a really strong napkin. It really likes being here. Okay, normally that would just rip, but that's okay. And then we're going to sneak this bad boy in right down here. And for me, the neat part about collaging is the layers. It's all about the layers for me. Different people do different things. This is going to be a layer, and then on that layer there will be more layers, and then it's all about layers. My magic fingernails make me work. Well, part of this is years of playing with glue and paint and figuring out what works, because it's trial and error. And my best advice to anyone when they say, oh well, how do you become better at your skill or your craft, is practice. Do something every day. A lot of people really love my Zentangles. It's because I Zentangle every day. I always am doing Zentangles. I love learning something new. I think if I can learn something new every day, it's a good world to learn something new every day. And you know, either about art or people or whatever. And so I've practiced. I've painted a lot of things with glue. Using napkins in art, you know, I'm 43, about to be 44. Using napkins in art has been around for a long time. So, you know, there's even special glue just for gluing napkins. Call it napkin applique. But, you know, for what we're doing, this is going to work perfect. There you go. And that little napkin is pretty sturdy. It's got some hardiness to it. Okay, so we got that going on. I'm going to put that in the water. I'm going to dry this for just a minute because I want to layer on some ink and stuff. And while I think it would be just fine with the glue, I don't want it interacting so much. And many of the places are already dry to the touch. I'm just hitting a couple of places that aren't. So I want to know, Tristan, after I played with my jelly plate, you decided you wanted to go play with yours. And did you indeed make a mess? Not repeating that out loud. Like I said, folks, if you have not signed in over over in the chat, you're missing out. I'm just telling you, you're missing out to be a part of these wonderfully talented and amusing people. Okay, I want to take my mist. I'm gonna mist through a couple of things. I'm very excited. Jean has got coming into the store some stencils. Actually, they're already in the store. Because she already has Punchnella too, folks. So if you're looking for Punchnella, she has Punchnella. But this is so much fun. And through Punchnella, you can't really tell. But what you can do is go on this side, get down, and you got a little business going on. And see if we have any of our yellow left here. I know. Aha. I repeat, this is not a stencil from Jean, okay? Just in case y'all are wondering. Actually, this is part of a set I got at the Walmart. I'll show it to you in a minute. And I cut it apart. Plaid makes it. And it's got some that are different shapes. Let's see. I had it up here near me because I've been playing with it. Okay, here we go. It's got the circles. It's got stars. It's got stars. It's got critter, like giraffe and cheetah and zebra and whatever that is. And then it's got this shape and hearts and little dots and little squares and brick looking stuff. and flowers. And it was on, I can't remember if it was on 2 or 3 or 4 sheets of stencil stuff. And I just cut them apart because I wanted to use them that way. Okay, so let's see how this is looking with our spots that we want to start layering on here. Okay, I think we need some more color. And if you're faint of heart, don't look about what I'm fixing to do. Okay, but I'm going to take my brown and just go direct on top. Okay. Yeah, the simple stencils are the best. I really love that Jean's got the Crafter's Companion stencils in. One that I have wanted since it first came out, I think it's probably a 2-year-old stencil, is the flowers. And I can't wait for it to get here. I ordered it the other day. But Crafter's Companion has tons and tons of stencils. And maybe future kits. I don't know what Jean has planned going on for things like that. But maybe future kits are going to have occasionally a stencil. I used to be a kit club member for Club Scrap, there we go. I used to be a kit club member for Club Scrap, and that was one of my favorite things there, is getting the kits in, and they would have stencils or that kind of thing with them. I love them. Yes, the Paris Trunks inks, these are super yummy for this. They're an eco-friendly kind of ink. It's a dye-based ink, but they seem to have kind of a softness to it, almost like a chalk ink, but not. If you get these thinking you're getting chalk inks, you're not at all, and you'll be distressed and you'll yell at me. So don't think you're getting a chalk ink. But, I mean, it's that kind of quality of smoothness that it has. So, and Tristan is right. If you're not careful with your swiping, you get the shape of the pad and stuff with Distress inks, and with these, you get a genuine, just kind of nice coating, and I love it for that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Distress ink. It has its place in places. But for what I just did, these Paris Trunk inks work really, really well. And I want this bad boy here. Remember, we're talking layers here, so okay, so before I forget what I'm doing, I want to remind everybody the name of the kit. This is Big Top Spectacle. The splash inks do not, no, it's not Big Top Spectacle, Center Ring Spectacle. The splash inks do not come from Mailbox Muse. If you want to buy the splash inks that I use to make the mists, then you get those from alteredpages.com. Hopefully Jean will start throwing some links in there for us. For coming tonight, if you become a member of Mailbox Muse, you're going to get 15% off. Do you have, right? Yeah, centering spectacle. It's a Mailbox Muse kit. And the kit came with all kinds of stuff. I'm going to be arting with this kit for a while. It's a good thing she does these quarterly because, goodness, if we did them more often than that, I don't know what I would do. But they're full of stuff. Each kit, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Jean, every kit I've seen that I kind of looked at always comes with a set of stamps to go with, always comes with collage images, always comes with lots of ephemera, many very unique, one-of-a-kind items. Please use PayPal to apply your special deal. They come with stamps. I forgot to show you what to do. Okay, here. I'm going to put this down. We're going to stop building layers for a minute. I wanted to show you something with the stickers. Okay, this is what I've got going so far. I'm going to build some layers with some more of the ephemera, with some more of the collage pieces, and bring this up. It'll be a more dimensional and work in some ribbon and some stuff. It's going to be cool when I'm done. I'm going to work on this throughout the weekend and share it with you. But I want to stop because I forgot to do something I was going to do. So let me do that real quick. You ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm not ready because they're over here. Okay. Stickers. The reason I want to show you this is because when I was my daughter's age, 5, I was a huge sticker collector. Collected stickers, collected stickers for everything. And I had all these stickers. And then I became a scrapbooker, and then eventually I became a scrapbooker in the sense of altered and archival. And I love them, but when you pull them off and stick them on your artwork, like say we're going to stick this right here, you see how very not altered it looks, right? It's just very, hello, I'm a sticker stuck on a page, okay? This is what you do. I'm going to grab a piece of paper. I'm going to grab this piece of paper. Not my piece of paper that's all nice and collagey. You don't have to take it off and put it on something else, but you want to get that sheen off of there, okay? So take a piece of sandpaper, and this is a well-used sanding stick, okay? And kind of start just gently, very gently, because you don't want to completely lose your sticker, okay? And then part of it, I mean, you are doing collage and altered work, so part of it you want to lose some of that, okay? So see, we're starting to take that shine off, all right? And I'm just gently sanding because I don't want to take all of it off. Okay. And now, because I always am sticking my finger in ink, I'm trying to find my brown ink that I just had. I have my black ink here. Here's the brown ink. Sorry, it's under the tissue paper. And just kind of come at it. And I use my finger. My finger is my favorite tool. Okay. And now it's much, I mean, there's still a little shine, but not like it was. And if you cut this out and used it on your piece, Okay. Things to remember about this kit. You get lots and lots of one-of-a-kind items. The stamps are specifically made for these kits. They're not made for anybody else. And see how much nicer that looks? A distressed clown. Yes. See how much nicer that looks than it did when it was just straight off the sticker sheet and stuck over there. It's just a, oh look, here we have a comparison. Here we go. So you have one-of-a-kind kits, original art, original stamps, and collages in each kit. Stickers, ton of ephemera, just very, very, very unique, very fun. Like this kit came with several three-dimensional items that I hope to use. I'm not going to use them this weekend because I have a couple other things I've got to do, but I'm going to use them over the next month and share them with you so you can see how very different and how much stuff you can do there. Tristan has been getting kits for a long time. I know he had commented, he's on the design team with me for Altered Pages, and he had considered, he had discussed how much fun his kits were and how joyful they can be. So anyway, keep this in mind for any of your stickers. If you were an early scrapbooker and collected stickers out the wazoo, have tons and tons of Mrs. Grossman, you know you are, alter your stickers. Or then come back and add bling to it, or little beadies, or glitter, or, swipe over it with some Cura, or with those little inks. You could do that. So keep that in mind when you're looking at stuff to alter. I love these stickers. They're all kinds of beautiful, and that's what I'm going to do to make them fit into my vintage look just a little bit more. Yeah, who doesn't have old junk around? Or put some googly eyes on it. I love that, Vicky. Okay, the magic code is leslierahye. And you're going to want to know how to spell that, right? So it's not how Tristan spelled it. It's leslierahye. Okay? And Jean will put it in there for you. And that's the code you're going to want to use. There you go. To get your discount on the kit. And that's 15% off, people. That's going to be pretty awesome. Lots and lots of stuff. Lots and lots of toys. If you really like the Niji splash inks, you want to get those at alteredpages.com. And those come with the ink and with the little recipe kit card that tells you exactly how to do that. The Paris Trunk ink pads are also from alteredpages.com. And I use the walnut and the black. And those are my favorite. There's other colors, but the walnut and the black I use almost on every project that I ever do. So, any other questions? The tape, if you want to make your own washi tape, is also, you can get that from alteredpages.com. So did everybody like what we're doing? On my collage, I'm going to use my splash inks to paint some of these in and fussy cut around them. Use some more of my collage images, use some more of the ephemera and build that up. Use my popcorn paper. But I'm loving how this is looking. So I would stay here with you all night if y'all didn't have someplace to be and I didn't have someplace to be. So yes, Jean's given you lots and lots of links there. I do record these and it's still recording, so it will be on my Ustream. But also I will share a link with you at the end, and if you go to my fan page and all that kind of stuff, I put them on my YouTube. I'm Leslie Raye pretty much everywhere on the internet. If you Google Leslie Raye, I'm usually the first, whole page of stuff. So, yeah, I'm excited. I was playing along, and then I looked up, and I was like, oh, crud. There were things I wanted to tell people. So, I'm going to use the stencil on my collage, and I will make sure when I do that, I'll put a recording a little quickie recording to show you what I'm doing. There's the stencil. And in fact, I may, if I have some quiet time when I'm finishing the collage, what I may do is record it so it can be like a part 2. I won't really advertise that. I'll just sit and talk to myself because, as we have already discussed, I'm adept at talking to myself. So I'm glad you came. I'm glad you shared my space with me. I hope you learned some stuff. I hope I inspired you to go play yourselves. Lots of cool things. Jean has tons and tons of really cool stuff at both Mailbox Muse and Altered Pages, and you should check it out. It's a pleasure designing for that team, and lots of great artists there, and lots of great inspiration there. Altered Pages does actually do kits, and all of us designers create kits for everybody. So they're one-of-a-kind, unique kits that have been created by the designer with really great instructions, so don't forget to do that too. So I appreciate everybody for coming. Let me remind you, tomorrow I have Leslie Ray's Very Steampunk Valentine blog hop, and that will start on my blog. There are several artists in that group that are celebrating love and Valentine's steampunk style. This is our second time to do this. We did this last year. It was wonderful. And then, let's see. Sorry, I didn't realize I still had music going there. But Leslie Ray's Crafty Gig, like I told you before, is on the 2nd and 4th Friday of each month. That's 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Please follow me at my blog, leslierahye.blogspot.com, or be a fan on Leslie Ray's fan page. And I'm on Twitter, and I try to always announce before my show that I'm going to have a show. So thank you for coming, and yes, I went searching for Calliope music, Jean, so that we had some perfect circus music to take us home. So thank you for coming. Good night.